Most people try Cowork and the first thing they do is paste some text and ask a question. That's fine, but the real power show up when you bring in actual files. The lesson is in two parts. So first we understand how files work in Cowork, what you can give it, what it can produce, and how to make sure you get what you ask for. And the second part, we scale it. What happens when you stop working with one file and start working with 50 files? So let's get into it. And first, we're gonna learn here how to access file, what it can be read and create, and the best practice in the part one. So how to actually get files into Cowork session, and there's a two-way we can do it. One is drag individual file and other is we can mount a folder. So there are two ways we can attach a file inside our Claude Cowork session, and they look same but they are different. So in method 1 you pull a file from your finder. So let's get into it. We have a new session here. This is a method 1. We can simply come here, go to our finder, and we can attach any file here. So we have this folder here and I can simply choose any file it and just attach it here. It works well when you are dealing with one or two specific files that you already know you need, right? And second way is to upload a file. This is one you will gonna use most of the time. Instead of picking the individual file, you give Cowork an entire folder. It sees everything inside the full listing. But here's the key. It doesn't open every single file automatically. It read what your brief tell us to do. You say find the invoice. It goes and find the invoice. You don't pre-select anything. So let me show you. So you can come here. You can choose the different folder here, and inside the folder we have this folder, and this is the folder that we're gonna use for now. So you can select Cowork demo files, and it have like 6 files, right? So when you load this folder, it doesn't automatically read or load all the files. When you give a prompt or a brief and you say pull the student data from April feedback.csv, right? So it just load this file in inside your context window. So when you do it and allow it, and let me remove this one. So we have this Cowork demo files here. It loaded, and now Cowork have access of all the file that inside this folder. We have 6 files, but it doesn't load everything. It just load when it needed. So this is the second way. Now let's talk about what Cowork can read. So here are supported files type. If a file contains text or structured data, Cowork can most likely read it. Images are interpreted visually, not just as the file name. So we have the document support like PDF files, Word, PowerPoint, Markdown. All of these come in as a readable content, not just as an attachment sitting there. And we have the data files like Excel, CSV, JSON. Cover can read formulas as well and the structure of the files, not just the raw values. And also we have the code related files like Python script, JavaScript, most languages. You can hand it a script form and it understand what's happening inside the code. And also you can support a PNG, JPEG file or web app. This one surprise people. Cowork doesn't just see an image as a file, it interrupt the visual content, screenshot, diagram, charts. It can read what's in them. If the file has substance, Cowork can work with it. Okay. So this is a flow. Brief goes in when you give a prompt. Cowork can process it. A real file come out on your machine, not in the chat on your machine, right? So files are saved directly in your machine, not just the display in chat. So Cowork write real files to your machine, not just the code snippet. Ask for a spreadsheet, get a .xls with live formulas. Ask for a Word document. So you can ask for any file. So when you're working here, let me show you the example. So I working with this example. Let's show you this one. So it write a script for me and it load the script here and I can see inside my folder here as well. So script working with files.md. So it can store and load the file directly inside your local machine. And here are the output format it support. So it support the document on your Word, PDF, Markdown. It can attach a CSV, JSON format. It can give you the HTML page, right? So let's go to actual Cloud code and let's have a test here. So see how it works. So we have the Cowork demo files here and let's give a prompt here. So create an Excel spreadsheet with these columns: client name, invoice date, amount due in USD, and payment status. Add three samples row using fictional client names. Add a sum formula at the bottom of the amount due column. Save it as a sample invoice tracker.xlx is the working folder. So when you give it to brief, right, and let's run it, that's a real file that it gonna create in our machine and it loaded in the same cowork demo files folder. So as a previous instruction that I told you here, we already loaded claude.md in every section, so you can see it loaded here. And right now it's use a skill and loaded some tool that running in the sandbox environment inside the Claude Cowork. So let's wait for it. And once it complete, it create an actual file in our machine, not a table pasted in the chat, right? An actual file, Excel file with the working formulas. That's what I mean by Cowork writing files, not just producing the text. So let's wait to finish it. And once it complete, you can see here we have the file with the actual client name with the formulas and also the pre-filling data with the demo data. And you can see here if you calculate it, the total value is this. So if you go to your co-finder, it you can see this is a real file with xlx format and you can open it and you can start using it, right? So it's not just a text data, it's just the actual file with the correct formula. So this is what I mean by Claude Cowork ability to give a output on your Claude Cowork file section. Now let's talk about the next section about these are the three habits that determine the quality of your output, and most people get skip it. That's why they get the inconsistent result. They are very obvious, but they are not obvious when you are in a hurry. So habit one is be specific about what you want. So don't say make a spreadsheet, right? We tell here make an Excel spreadsheet with this column name and we define the our format of the currency and the output file that we needed, right? So you need to be specific what you want to do. Cover can only do what your brief says. If your brief is vague, the output is also be going to be vague. Name the format, name the column, describe the layout, describe the output format. That precision is your job, right? So you need to focus on be specific when you are working with the folder, right? The second thing is about provide a template when a format matter, right? So Cowork is much better at matching an existing format than inventing one from scratch. So let's say you want to generate a presentation for your upcoming webinar, right? So you already have your template and you can ask Claude to understand it and use this existing format to make it again, right? Because if you inventing from scratch, it may be different from your brand colors or it give you the different template that you need to change every time. So you need to give a template as a sample file every time. If you need to generate the report or anything, it just follow or follow or match the existing template and you give you the consistent output every single time. And the last thing you need to check is verify before you change. This one matter most when you are running multi-step tasks. So you ask Cowork to extract the data from 20 invoice into a spreadsheet and then use the spreadsheet to generate a client summary report. If the first step goes wrong, maybe the wrong column, wrong format, that error goes straight into the second step and get amplified. Open the intermediate step output first, look at it, confirm it's right, then continue. Catching a problem at step 1 is a 2-minute fix. Catching it step 4 meaning rerunning everything, right? So whenever you're working with Cowork, it show you the progress bar here, right? So right now we don't have the multi-step prompt here, but if it have multi-step, you can verify the steps here before going to create whole thing. You can just stop it in the step number 1, so it doesn't take your lot of tokens and don't waste your time. So this is all about when you're working with files inside your Cowork. And now let's move to the next part section of it. So let's get into it. And going further, working with files with batch processing. So in this part or section, we're gonna learn about how we can scale it, and instead of working with just one file, now we can work with multiple files and see how everything work inside it. So here we're gonna learn about batch patterns, how it work with subagent and how it parallelly read and work, the operator habits, and cover the edge cases as well. So first you can see here we have batch processing patterns. So if you go to your Claude Cowork and let me open new one, and we have coach Cowork demo files folder already mounted here, and inside the Cowork demo files we have multiple folders here, and this one is CSV file, and this is the one that we created on the last example. So we don't need this, we can delete this one, and let's keep it here. So we have the extract, consolidate, rename, organize, and the convert and format. So these are the folder that I used to just show you about the different format of or the use case of the batch processing pattern. We can extract and consolidate, we can rename and reorganize our files, we can convert the format of the file, and we can also merge and summarize everything inside it. Let's say we first about understand extract and consolidate. So if you go to the folder, and here we have the 5 monthly summary or CSV file, and let's go to Claude Cowork and actually can mount this folder. So we already inside this folder, but let's go. So search here Cowork demo files. So we can mount this folder, and inside this folder we have this extract consolidate folder. Inside it we have 5 different CSV file, and let's allow it. So once we do it, so let me remove the first one. So now it have this folder mounted, and inside the folder we have 5 different CSV file for each month. So if you open it, so we have the member name, module completed, rating, their biggest win, and the recommended or not. So we have this CSV file for each and every month. So let's go back to Claude Cowork. So we mount this folder, and now Claude can read all the files, and they can extract it, the member name, month, the module they completed or not, the rating, right? So now we want to compile into one. So let's give a brief. I mounted a folder with 5 monthly community feedback CSV file, January through May. Read all files for each row, extract member name, month from file name, module completed, rating 1 to 5, biggest win, would they recommend or not, and compiled everything into one Excel file, community feedback Jan to May dot xlxx, sort by month, then by rating descending, save to working folder. So once you give this brief, right, you need to give the specific brief that we already discussed in multiple videos. You need to be very specific when you giving it. And once we run it, so it had this folder that already load the instruction.md, and it can load all the other feedback CSV file as well when it needed, right? So right now it doesn't load all the files, right? So you can see in the progress bar it restart to reading all the files, 5 CSV files, and 5 files, 25 members, and we're gonna make a one single sheet instead of multiple CSV file. So we just want to do it, and it running these skills to create the XLX file for us. And this way we can extract the information from all the files and consolidate into one single file. So this demo purpose I just used with the 5 files, but you can use it with the 50 files or the 100 file as well. So it just read it, and then it building the Excel file here. You can see here, and it already created this Excel file. You can see it here, and let it wait for to complete it. And so now it completed, and now we have all the 25 students. Start from 2, the month, the module they completed or not, and the rating and the recommended or the biggest bin, right? So we have all the data here instead of these 5 files. Now we have one single file that have the data from our January month to May into the single file. So we can extract all the data from these files and just consolidate or compile into the one file. So this is the first part we cover, is this is extract and the consolidate. Second thing we want to show it rename and it reorganize for you. So let me go to the finder here, and if you go here, and you can see here, this is agreement final.md, this is the client agreement, this is contract update, right? So all use different name. This is every client folder I ever seen, right? So they don't have proper naming of each. So let's fix this part as well. So we can go to a cloud.md, and we can open a new task, and this time we can remove this folder, and we can choose a different folder. So and search for Cowork demo files. We have this folder, and this time we're going to select this folder where we have different client folders with have different naming, right? Because their name are not properly written and they are reorganized as well. So we can allow the folders. So once we allow it, all the files inside this folder are accessible for the cloud to read it. And now let's give us a brief and see how it works. I mounted a folder with 5 client contract files. The files name are messy. Read each file and extract client name and the effective date. Rename each file using the format last name, first name, and the date, years, M and D format. For example, Sarma Pia 2024-03.md. List the old file name to the new file name for each file before making any changes, so I can confirm, then rename them all. So this time we just ask it to read the files and extract the client and the effective date, and we also give the example, so it will easier for the cloud to understand it. And also before reorganize or renaming anything, we want it to confirm with us, right? So let's run it, and we have this folder here, so it gets some time to run it, and it read the file from inside and pull the client name and the date and the rename everything. So it doesn't touch the content, right? So if you open it, we have this agreement file here. We have the client name Sarah Lane and the effective date is this. We have service and the scope and the this. So this is the content inside it, but we just want to it to change the name, right? So we want to change the name for these all files because they are not consistent and it difficult to finding it out. So you can see here we have the old name is new contract gen.md. So if you open it, this one, right? And the client name is James and the effective date is this. So you can see it before creating or rename anything, it just asks us to old name and what is the new name is suggested. So the client name, then the date format, then the date MD, right? So this is what we need. So we can just say it, yes, confirmed, and then it run and it change the file name as well. So let's wait to complete it. All 5 files renamed and they are live in your folder now. So if you go here And now you can see all the files are with their client name and the effective date, right? And they are all organized correctly. So this is the second way you can use it, batch patterns, to rename and reorganize everything. And now let's move to the convert the formats. So you have like you will like to transform files from one format to another. So let's say you have the folder of markdown files and you want to convert into a word document or the PDF. You can use Claude to just convert all the files, right? So let me go to here again. Inside the finder we have this convert format folder, right? And we have different files and all files are .md, right? So if you want to change the format, so we can open a new task. Let me select a folder here and we can choose the folder, and here we have Cowork, demo files, and we have the convert format, right? So these are all the MD files and that you want to convert. So you just loaded the files here and now we just need to provide the brief. So let's add the brief as well. I mounted a folder with 5 modules, lesson notes in Markdown format, module 1 notes.md through modules 5 notes.md. Convert each file to a formatted Word document .docx. For each document, use the module title heading as the document title, format heading as a heading 2, format bullet list cleanly, add a footer with Claude Course Confidential. Save all 5 docs files to the working folder. Keep the same baseline file name, module1 notes.docs etc. So we just give a brief here and we are very specific about what we want to do, what are the files name, the current files name, what are the changes when we want when we created those docs file. So if you open it, the any module one, so these are the markdown files and you can see here we have the module 1, this is the title, we have the key concept framework and all other things. So when it's creating the docs files for us, so you can see here it just give a task itself converting modules to word docs, and here it use this module 1 notes.md, it read this file and it use this doc skill to just create the document. So let's finish this. So once it complete, initially we have 5 markdown files we give as input, and in output it give us the 5 Word documents, right? So we can change the format of the files, but it formatted correctly, consistent, and ready to send to client, right? That's convert format. So let's finish it. And once it's running, let's go to the next section about merge and summarize. You can combine multiple sources info into one report. So let's go into it. This one we can use. So let's go to here and it's running here. So let's open a new tab, and here we can mount a consolidate folder again. Let's give a prompt here. So I'm going to remove this one. Yeah, so we have this extract consolidate folder. So we have this folder and here we have these 5 files here. So this is the file that we have previously, so let me delete it, we don't need it. And let give me a prompt or brief for this as well. So we already mount our folder and now give a prompt. I mounted a folder with 5 monthly feedback CSV files. Create a single summary report Excel file, community summary h1.xlxs, and sheet 1 have a monthly breakdown. One row per month, column, month, total members, average, rating, percentage would recommended years, top win of the month, highest rated entry, and in sheet 2, at risk members, all the members with rating 3 or below across all months, column, member name, month, rating, biggest win, suggested action, and save to the same working folder. So once you give a brief, so this time we just want to merge or summarize this report, right? So we have January month report, February, June, all the CSV file, and we just want to create one report file. Okay, so we already mount the folder and let's run it. So while it's running, go back to your conversion part, and it create all the doxy file. So if you go here and open it, so we have the empty file and now we have the doc file as well, right? So if you open any doc file, it uses the same title, we have key concept and everything. And if you compare to the module dot empty file, so you can see here, right, we have the title, we have the key concept, like the content inside it is same, but instead of empty file now we have the doc file. So it was very useful when you convert 50 or maybe the 100 or many files, right, if to change any format of it. So it done. And now look for the last part where it's still running for the merge and summarize. So while it running, let's get into the next topic, and I'm going to show you how the batch processing work. So when it's complete, I will show you the final result, but let's get into the next part. So when you attach a folder or when you mount a folder, Cowork read every file in it. For large batches, it delegate to sub-agents that work in parallel. So one read files from 1 to 10 while another read 11 to 20. Then a coordinator merge the result, right? The bottleneck is the is file complexity, not the file count. So you, let's say you loaded the 50 files and it coordinated the split batches into 10. So 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30. So all the agents read different file in parallelly and give the results to the coordinator that merge the result into one single output and give you the output file. Okay, so this is how it works, and we can show you. Let's go to this section here. So let's finish this, then I come back again. So let's load a folder again for Cloud Cowork demo files, and inside the folder we have, let me remove this one. So we loaded this Cowork demo files folder, and inside this folder we have these all three folders and this file as well. So let's run a command and I will show you how it works. So let's run it. I mounted a folder with 6 monthly feedback CSV files from a school community. For each file, extract member name, month, module completed, rating, biggest win, and boot recommended. Compile everything into one Excel spreadsheet with those 6 columns. Then add a second sheet called summary with total member across all 6 months, average rating rounded to one decimal, count of years, no, maybe in the wood, recommended column, top three biggest win, highest rated response, one per month. Name the file debit community feedback h1 2026.xlxx, save it to the working folder. So once you give the command and let it be run, so if you watch the progress tab, so it just first loading some tools, run a command, and then just give itself a task. So you can see the multiple subtasks here in the progress bar. The tasks are running in parallel. So let it be run, and you can see here it read the Excel file and it loaded the skills, it built David community this feedback file, right? So all the things are working here and uses this cowork demo files folder. So let it be complete and we can come again to understand how this everything work here. So let's back to the merge and summarize section that we discussed here, and it generate the final report for us. So you can see here we have this one file here for monthly breakdown where we have the total members, average rating in other criteria, and for the at risk members, so we have it here, the member name, their month, right, and other thing as well. So this is where we can merge and summarize multiple data sources into one report, right? And let's go into it and understand the next section we are discussing here. So you can see here it progress it and it read the Excel skill file, and now it building the Excel file for us. So we just want to combine all 6 months of data that we store here in this CSV file. right? So we have the files here and one file is here. I need to put it here as well. So we have 6 month data.csv file, 30 members, and we just give a one prompt or brief here, and we get it here, the member name, the month, the module they completed, on all the other thing in just one part. We get all feedback from this sheet, and also it gives you the summary report. So let me open this as well. So you can see here we just combine all the 6 month data into the one sheet, and where we can see the feedback of the all the student, and also we have this summary report where we have the total members, their other metrics, and also we have the per month highlight about their biggest winner response or the member rating, right? So we can just combine all the data into the clean report with just one brief, right? So we just provide this brief here, and it take all the data and create this clean and nice report for us. David was doing this manually, opening each file, copying rows, building the summary himself. That was a 90 minute every month. This just run in under 2 minutes. Look at the summary tab, and its total, average, the count of years, right, and the recommended breakdown. He didn't ask for that in those words. Cowork built it from the brief, right? So this is all done by just a single brief. And initially, when you're working with something, you have to give a long brief, right? The way we did here. But later on, once you verify your output and you're running the same thing again and again, you can turn it into a skill. And we're gonna learn about the skills in upcoming video. But once you have the skills, then you don't need to give all the things about it. You just need to mount your folder and just run a command that we like here. So we can just skill and YouTube thumbnail, right? So when I just provide this skill, it create the YouTube thumbnail based on the transcript that is stored in the folder, and it create the title description as well for my YouTube video. So this is the same way we can turn this brief into a skill, but I will show you in the upcoming videos how it works. So this is all about how batch processing work. So the next thing I need to just show you about habits for reliable batches, that three habits that stop batch runs from going sideways. So first is you need to test only one file. Before you run a brief against 50 files, break it a simple file, or run it the same brief for the just one file. Does the output look correct to you, and the columns names are correctly spelled? Is the format that what you ask for, right? So in initial stage with one file, you can just fix it whatever look off to you. The second thing you need to take care of, you need to be very specified about the output structure. You need to know tell about the name of the column, specify the short order or any filter and format, live formulas or static values, right? The format of the output file. You need to very specific about the output structure, so you don't need to redo the work again and again. And also you need to check some edge cases, right? In any folder of real world files, some will be different. An invoice from a new vendor with a non standard layout, or a CSV with a missing column, a PDF that is scanned image instead of digital text file. So it need OCR instead of direct rendering. Review the result you are looking for, anything that look off, a blank cell where these should be value, a row that obviously wrong, a file produced no output. When you find an edge cases, don't rerun the whole page. Write a targeted follow brief, right? So it create this brief for us, and let's say we don't like, we need to include uh, the members feedback as well on column here, but it's missing here. So we just need to tell a second brief into our cowork that inside this file you're missing it, so you just need to adjust it, right? So you just need to do it again and again until you have finished, or you are satisfied with your final result. So This is all about when you're working with files, and here are the main takeaways. You can learn it here. So when you drag a file or mount a folder, Cowork read the content, not just the file name. Mount for most tasks, it give you Cowork full context, right? So whenever you come here and instead of attaching a file, you can attach a folder directly here as we do in our all the examples, because this way Claude have the all the context about what you're going to do. And don't worry about it take the tokens, because it just include in the context window when it uses or it read it by the Claude, right? And you need to be specific about the output, the name of the format, the column, formulas, file name, the output for format, right? And if it's possible, provide a template when format matter. So when you are making a presentation, you can share with them your previous or company presentation style. It follow the exact same patterns, colors, branding, fonts, everything, right? And you need to verify intermediate output before chaining. Open the first file before generating outcome comes from it. Errors compound fast, right? So you just need to understand where it goes wrong, so just fix it. And batch processing uses parallel sub agent, so 50 files doesn't take 50 times longer time, because it just divide all the files in the batches, and sub agent read multiple sub agent read different files and just send the all the result to the coordinator, right? And you need to check for the edge cases before you finalize everything and turn into skill. And cover can only see what you attach, right? Files never leave your machine, so whenever you attach a file from here or a folder, cover can see it and use it for work. So this is all about how to work with files inside the Cloud Cowork. Thanks.